Hi guys. So I've been a little bit quiet with the videos, and I'm super excited because I've put together a new series of videos as we come out of lockdown, and this is all to do with healing music. So when I lived in London for many years, and when I lived in London, I had 4 years of singing lessons, and I had the singing lessons when I was feeling quite low and challenged with my health. And I found that singing was deeply healing. It was incredibly therapeutic. So first of all, I did a year at Sylvia Young, believe it or not. I joined their adult classes, which was a lot of fun. And then one of the students at Sylvia Young actually told me of this amazing music teacher in London called Kate Radmilovic, who I'm delighted to introduce you all to today. And she is a powerhouse. This lady has performed in Phantom of the Opera, in many great musicals, and it was really interesting because actually Kate used to run her music lessons at this kind of in these huge kind of warehousey type places right on the other side of town to where I lived. I was in Ealing, and I'd go all the way over to the other side of London to go to her singing classes, and it was incredible. So Kate, hi, so great to see you.
Yes, and you, Sunita. I don't think I've seen you for 3 months.
I know. It's all been bonkers, hasn't it? But look at you. You look amazing, and you haven't got one grey hair, and I've got plenty. So I'm making up for both of us. But you know, your singing lessons it were such a saviour to me. And so for 3 years I had singing lessons with you, and we did 3 performances every year. It was incredibly powerful, and your style has evolved and developed since then. So tell us all, how did you get into singing, Kate?
So I got into singing. I think I probably started singing lessons when I was about 14. So I did piano, classical piano and singing. And round about 14, I began to know that I wanted to go into performing. But I actually probably at that time wanted to just go into acting, theatre, a bit of musical theatre. But due to circumstances, I ended up doing a degree in music, drama, dance. And at that point, I went by chance. I'd carried on with my singing, but I went to see, and this was classical singing. So I did the grade 8 when I was 18, that type of thing. So it was always in the background, but it wasn't to be a singer as a profession till I went to see Jan Arček's Jennifer in, I think, Birmingham Hippodrome. Welsh National Opera were touring, and it was then I had this huge calling to unbelievably go into opera. I had done some classical singing, as I said, but it was this desire to go into full-scale opera. So I auditioned for the music colleges, and actually I didn't get into any of them because they felt that my voice wasn't suitable for opera. But I was determined, took more lessons, and I finally got into a college, the Royal Northern College of Music, and that was it then. And I was obsessed with being an opera singer for many, many years, right through to my early 40s, when I finally then decided I no longer wanted to do it. I wanted to go back to my original desires to act. That's what I'm doing now. But I still do sing, but no longer with the great passion that I used to have, actually. But alongside that, because I've got away from myself, I've found now that I'm more of a passionate singing teacher.
Yeah, it's interesting how that happens, isn't it? Sometimes our passions can override us, and actually when we take and we take the pressure off a little bit, we start to find that enjoyment again. And also, I think it's very, again, very normal that these days, many of us are having new careers at around about the 40 mark.
Yes, definitely. As an opera singer, there is a shelf life, unless you're extremely famous, and then they don't mind how old you are, but there is a shelf life. But it wasn't that made me decide to leave opera. It really, because I could have gone on for a good 10 more years in dramatic singing. I just was a bit burnt out. And I certainly now, funnily enough, that I've left it. And actually during lockdown, I haven't practiced at all. I've been teaching online, funnily enough, in China to small children, and the occasional professional adult would come for lessons who's been at music college. But funnily enough, I haven't warmed up, I don't practice, but I've been singing whilst teaching, and a new voice, because I've left it alone completely, no auditions, nothing, because I still have to sing occasionally in musicals. My singing voice has become very natural, like it used to be, I think, when I was about 16. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
And I like the feeling of singing now. I don't feel burnt out anymore.
Well, you certainly don't look it. You look fabulous. So what do you want? You know, now what do you want? How do you want this phase of your life to look, Kate?
So I'm going to continue teaching singing, because even that I got a little burnt out teaching singing, because that's the obvious route, that if you're giving up your profession, you then have to teach it. So I was teaching it probably 20 hours, 30 hours a week. So that also I wanted to break from that. But now I've had a big break from it. I am realizing that I'm realizing that I do give a lot when I teach. So it'd be a shame not to do it, really. So I'm teaching more and more and enjoying it. Personally, myself, I like to have a dream. That's the way I tried to perhaps even give up the profession and get a normal job last year. But I didn't want to wake up in the morning. Once I decided to become completely realistic, I lost my drive. So to hell with it, went back to being completely stage struck. And actually, once I changed my attitude, I got a job straight away. I should be working now at the Leicester Curve. I got in with a wonderful production, Nikolai Foster. So I was back working, and then of course COVID happened, so the theatre at the moment is closed. So I want to teach more with a renewed passion, but I want to perform, but with my dream. And my dream actually now is completely different to opera singing. It's actually screen acting. I absolutely love filming. I've been in a lot of independent films. I'm doing a screen course at the moment online, because it's so different. Rather than projecting your voice on a big stage with an orchestra, I'm learning how to hardly do anything, but the mind works stronger. And this is what's fascinating me. It's like a new, I shouldn't say drug, but it's what's making me wake up in the morning.
Yeah, but I'm so glad, you know, that's great. You want to continue with the teaching, because for me, you have been a very important person in a phase in my life that was very deep and healing, and a self-development phase, really. And you helped me unlock my voice. It's helped me with my speaking. It's helped me with my teaching.
Yes.
So and I think also now you can teach through Zoom. So you can teach anywhere to anyone in the world.
Yeah, I do. I have taught in America, Germany, and China at the moment so far, and London. So yeah, my neighbours even like it next door. He doesn't mind when I have the windows open teaching. Because when you're teaching on Zoom, you end up shouting through to the camera because you think it's got to go as far as China. But so I've a renewed passion for teaching, which funds my own secret little desire to be a screen actress. Why not? You've got to have these dreams.
You absolutely have. Life is short, but life is long at the same time. So
yes,
you have to put these things in place. So as I said, for me, it was very much a therapeutic healing journey, and we are now coming out of lockdown. A lot of people are feeling a bit out of sorts. They're feeling a little bit vulnerable. It's not clear how things are going to pan out. There's a lot of fragility out there in the world at the moment. And I truly believe that music can help us weary souls as we go through this process. So one of the great things is we're going to be doing a duet together, which I'm very excited about. And but before we get into that, Kate, what are your top tips for those that are listening? What would you say?
Well, I'm a strong believer, although I'm not doing it daily, to do some form of yoga. I'm not an athlete. I used to do loads of yoga. I'm not doing any now, but I do Adriana online, 15 minutes maximum, 15 to 20 minutes. And so a bit of yoga, but stretching yourself out is one of my big tips physically. I'm getting the singing and the music, so I get this replenishment. So I don't have to do it because I'm having to do it, if you see what I mean, when I'm teaching. So it's just coming. So I would recommend like anything that's with an oo vowel or ooh and ah, because they're dark vowels and they immediately center your chest to vibrate. We need to start vibrating, because if we haven't been speaking much, if you've been on lockdown without communicating, if you've been on your own, and also we're wearing a mask, so it's sort of, and otherwise you've been communicating perhaps if you've been on your own via digital. So just sort of opening up the voice really and doing sighing, ooh, anything like that to connect to your chest voice, but also your head voice. So anything that's high, that's going to make you feel more elated, rather not just a glass of vodka. Sort of, ooh. So just so you're opening up your sound waves, because we've spent a lot of time on our sofas watching fantastic programs, but generally we need to reopen ourselves, and you can do that with your voice, with humming in the head voice and humming in the lower voice and bringing the voice forward. I personally do go outside, and I try to go out when lots of other people aren't there, to get fresh air. It's really important. I'm a swimmer normally. The way to stop me from getting stressed is to swim. So I'm being desperately missing my swimming, because of course I belong to an open air pool, haven't been able to go. So wanting to move to the Lake District, I've been having desires of all those things, which I won't be doing, but I need to try and find a way of getting into some water very soon. Need to pull myself out of that thing. So swimming, anything to do with expansion, I suppose.
Yeah. Opening up so we would say, you know, in Ayurveda, opening up the energy centers, energy fields.
Yes.
The energy flowing again through the body, and that you are the expert. That is just, you know, hearing your words and hearing your voice. That is exactly where where I was when I was, having singing lessons with you for all those years. So what we're going to do now is we're going to duet. So guys, please sit back and relax. Wonderful words. So they're matched with a very peaceful, relaxing music. We're actually going to be singing Moon River. Some of you may know that. Audrey Hepburn sang it. Henry Mancini and Monica Mancini also sang it. And please just feel the soothing, high vibrational vibes completely take over. So over to you, Kate. So I think first...
Aren't you going to start?
Yes, I am. Yes. So... Moon. Is that right? Yeah.
Lovely.
Moon River, wider than a mile, I'm crossing you in style someday. Oh, dream maker, you heart breaker, wherever you're going, I'm going your way. Two drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. Well, after that same rainbows and waiting round the bend, my huckleberry friend. Moon River and me. Thank you, thank you. Thank you guys. Hope you enjoy. Lots of love.